Hey everyone, welcome back to my Earth Friendly Kitchen. I'm Maria, your host, and today we're going to be making lasagna. I obviously had some audio issues in the beginning of this video, so I'm going to be doing the voiceover for the first half. So to start, I'm just chopping up one celery stick, and then I'm going to be doing one carrot stick and half an onion. Now, this recipe is going to be so delicious. It's a little bit of upfront prep that's somewhat time consuming, but once it's in the oven, that's the last thing that needs to happen for it to be excellent. After your celery, carrots, and onion, or the sofrito, you're going to add some garlic. I added about 7 or 8 small pieces there. I add them to my food processor. If you don't have a food processor, you can just chop them super nice and finely. But if you have a food processor that you want to fight with like I did, then you get a nice, really small, fine mince on your veggies. They should look something like that. Then you're going to add some olive oil to your pan, turn on about a medium heat, and you're going to add all of your diced veggies. Make sure you take out any large chunks that may be remaining from your chop. If you did it by hand, obviously you don't have to worry about that. Put all your veggies into the pan, and you're going to sweat them until they get nice and soft. Once they have a chance to soften up, you're going to add 1 pound of ground beef right into the pan with them. You want to chop it up so that it's got into very small, fine mince of the meat. You want small bites to make a nice even sauce for your lasagna. While that's browning, you're going to want to head and shred your mozzarella cheese, about 8 ounces, to prep for the next step once it's ready. So when the meat has had plenty of time to brown, you're going to add about 4 cups of tomato sauce. I was obviously saying something very animated and probably very funny here, and I'm sorry you missed it. But you're going to add your 4 cups of marinara sauce. There's a recipe I'll link in the description to your pot. It's nice to have it on hand whenever you need it. You're going to give it a nice big stir so everything is mixed, and cover it and just let it cook all the way through. Okay, so while that is finishing up cooking over there, we're going to be making a bechamel sauce. So we're going to start with 4 tablespoons of butter, and we're just going to let that melt down. Now, I'm making a bechamel sauce to use for the lasagna as opposed to using ricotta cheese because my husband absolutely hates ricotta cheese, but also I'm dairy-free, and so I'm going to be using dairy-free milk. This is going to be a dairy-free bechamel sauce. So I'm just going to show you that you can do this even if you're dairy-free. You can still have really delicious, ooey gooey, cheesy lasagna. If you want that to melt faster, you could cut it down. I'm going to pour my 2 cups of milk. And this one, I'm just using the original recipe Chobani oat milk for that. You could use any dairy-free milk you want, or you could do the same exact recipe with regular milk. Now that my butter is melted down, I'm just going to add 1/3 cup of flour. And yes, that is a pumpkin pie on my oven. Comment in the comments. Place a comment below if you want the recipe. I'm just mixing up this butter and flour and making a nice roux. So this is going to be thickening up our bechamel. And once that's come together and it's browned a little bit, you're just going to add 2 cups of the milk slowly. And you're going to whisk as you pour so that you don't get any clumps. You want this to be a really smooth, creamy sauce. Once you've added all of your liquid and you know that it's nice and smooth, you're going to season it with some salt. About half a teaspoon or so. And some pepper. Also about a half a teaspoon. And you're just going to let this cook for about 10 minutes or so until it gets nice and thickened up. Our sauce is coming together really nicely. And I'm just going to taste it to make sure that we don't need any seasoning.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, because these noodles particularly are what we call oven ready noodles, which means you don't have to boil them. However, you do need to add a little bit of water to your sauce so that the steam will help cook the noodles all the way through when it's baking. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. If you had regular lasagna noodles that were not oven ready, you would need to boil them first to get them soft to layer into your dish. Okay? So skip a step if you want and get the oven ready ones. So I'm going to add my sauce to 1 cup of water, and I'm just going to mix it up. And it's just going to be a little bit like, you know, seems more watery, but we're going to add the regular sauce on top of it. This is just so that it's just not water, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, so pour a little bit on the bottom, and you just want to cover it. Okay. And then we are going to nestle in our noodles. Now you're not going to break them, you're just going to put them in as is. You might break 1 or 2 for like the sides, but try to keep them as whole as possible. And you want to make sure they cover the whole bottom. You might even overlap them a little bit. Okay. See, like this side, I'm gonna like measure. Seems right. There we go. Okay. And we're gonna pour more of our sauce. And this is just going to be going on the bottom with that water. The rest of the sauce that we put on top is going to be just from our pot. Okay, so here's some of the sauce. Cover the noodles all the way. Okay, and then we're going to pour some of our bechamel all throughout. Look how creamy that is, guys. Okay. And then we're gonna sprinkle some pecorino. Now, I did say I was mostly dairy-free, but pecorino is made from sheep's milk, so it actually doesn't bother my stomach. It's just cow's milk that really gets me. American cow's milk, I should say. If I can have regular cheese from Europe any day of the week. But alas, I live in America and it's expensive. All right. So now I'm going to be doing half dairy-free, like I said, for myself with the dairy-free cheese, the cheese. Actually, I'm going to do like a third dairy-free because more people are going to eat the regular side than me. I'm just going to sprinkle some generously. And you will know the difference because it'll cook differently and you'll see it on the top. All right, and then just regular mozzarella on the other side. Obviously, if you don't have a dairy-free person in your house, you just do this whole thing with regular mozzarella, which is why I said you would normally shred the full 16 ounces. And now we just repeat. For the final layer, you want to make sure that your topping is completely covered so it gets nice and ooey gooey melty. Okay, so I am going to cover this up and we're going to bake this in the oven at 375 for about 45 minutes or so. Maybe check it around 35 minutes, 40. You're looking for the noodles to be very soft. You want it to be able to cut through very easily with a knife. But if you don't have a cover like this or a covered pot, covered dish I should say, you can just put foil over the top of this. And in the last 5 minutes, you're going to take off the top once everything is cooked through and melted. Then you're going to turn your oven to broil for those 5 minutes and get the top really nice and golden brown. See you in a long, well, kind of a long time. Worth the wait, 45 minutes. Okay, so it has been about 50 minutes or so. 45 minutes covered, another 5 minutes to just get nice and brown and ooey gooey on top, guys. The smell in here is unbelievable. So, you just need it. You need it. Dive right in. You should be able to slice right through, your noodles with a spatula. You don't need a knife for that. Oh, look how ooey gooey delicious that is. Obviously, the regular cheese is going to be a little bit more stretchy than the vegan cheese. The vegan cheese tends to be a little bit more loose, I guess you would say, but the stretch on the regular cheese is really good. So I'm just going to take a bite here. Fork, tender. See that noodle, just so delicious. Oh my gosh. The bechamel just makes this super creamy and delicious. You know, ricotta cheese is great. I love it. If I could eat it, I would. Again, my husband doesn't like it, so I try to see what I can what I could substitute, you know, for that, which bechamel is a winner for that. Let's try it. Oh my God. Guys, worth the wait. The prep for lasagna is the thing that people hate the most. This is not a weekday meal, right? This is a Sunday dinner, Saturday dinner, you know, cook for a few hours in the kitchen, just hanging out with your family, like kind of meal. This is it, but this is what brings people around the table. This is what brings people together. Oh my gosh. I need another bite. It's so good. Don't miss out. Do not skip this comfort food. You will not regret it. Perfect for the cooler months coming up. You can turn your oven back on. It's not going to be super hot in the house. In fact, you can turn your heat off and put the oven on for this dish to save some energy. But I hope you try it. Please tell me in the comments if you do. I hope you love it. Let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more recipes like this, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.